Hello, everyone. It's Michael Jaco with Unleashing Intuition Secrets. So, as we're seeing the Cali doomsday signals, we are seeing some. I projected that we're going to see a very, very active earthquake year, even more than last year, which was record-setting. So it is. It's not going to be a big blowout yet, right? But we're going to start to see the signaling of what's coming. Democrats are collapsing. Right. So we've seen a lot of this moving in that direction, but now it's going to pick up speed in this year. We're going to see the Democrats basically fall apart. Cuba, Colombia, Mexico, Brazil leadership is all going down. Right. So President Trump has left the fleet in the Caribbean, and that will be used to basically replace all of the leadership in every one of those countries. Right. So we're going to see all of that in the coming days, weeks, and months into this year. So it's going to be very active. We'll see trials absolutely going to come. I don't think there's any way around it now. They can't hide it. They're talking about replacing people that have been, stonewalling and slow rolling a lot of this, and they're going to either get replaced or start to step up and really start to, cook it out there. All right, so let's look at, first off, let's look at Stefan Burns and see what he's seen. Like I said, there's several different things, doomsday signals that happen, and they lead up to usually a pretty significant event. And I think that's what we're going to see here very shortly in California. California will be just one of many places that's going to be very active this year. All right, so here he is, Stefan Burns.
Geophysicist Stefan Burns here. There is a big risk of there being a high magnitude earthquake striking California in the immediate near future, this being a magnitude 6 or greater event, even potentially going to magnitude 7, though I think magnitude 6 to 6.5 is the most likely range. And I think it's more likely to occur in Northern California if it does versus Central or Southern California, specifically looking at the San Francisco Bay Area. And there are a lot of reasons for this. The primary one is the fact that we just had a magnitude 7 earthquake up in the Yukon, border of Alaska and Canada, with a ton of aftershocks, hundreds and hundreds of earthquakes. And just a couple days ago, we had a magnitude 6.5 that struck Mexico near the city of Acapulco. Well, California is directly in between.
Now, there's some people that have said that the earthquake in Mexico, where basically rattled the capital, where the head of Mexico was having a press conference. Claudia Sheinbaum. So she basically had to stop her presentation. Now, it was a big earth shaker and lots of buildings shook, but there was no real major, people dying or whatever. Some people have said that is the White Hats now have that technology and that they're using it to basically send signals. I don't know if that's true. It would stand to reason that they do have that technology now and are starting to potentially implement it. I don't think, excuse me, I don't think they're going to use it against the population, of course. That's the evil ones. But they could use this as a signal like this, or they could use it as, a warning, or even use it to take out some of the deep state activity. So it'll be interesting to see how that happens going forward.
The two, and we often see earthquakes follow that sort of progression where they will fill in the gaps. Also, with that Mexico earthquake, there was antipodal earthquake activity with that occurring on the mid-Indian ridge in between the Australasian and Antarctic plate. That is a geologic spreading center. And on the other side of the globe, we have the subduction zone off the coast of Mexico. So there was this clear back and forth sequence with that 6.5 quake in Mexico. Well, we just had an antipodal earthquake for the San Francisco Bay Area, a magnitude 5.7, which is quite large for a mid-ocean ridge on the border of the African plate and also the Antarctic plate. So fairly close by to those other antipodal quakes. And well, that's because California and Mexico are close together. So that is not a good sign. And then there are a bunch of other factors which we will go into. But to start off, just really quickly to mention it, because this is very rare, we just had a doomsday fish wash up off the coast of Monterey. And these are known as doomsday fish because of Japanese folklore and legend associating these oarfish washing up with high magnitude earthquakes and tsunamis. So basically really powerful natural disasters. And they hang out really deep at depth. And the idea is that there's some sort of change to the earth that's occurring in the deep oceans, potentially based off of changing electric field or electromagnetic signals. We know that sometimes.
So it seems like the oarfish are very sensitive. A lot of this plate movement happens deep, very deep within the ocean as it starts to come to the surface. So you'll see the oarfish, get impacted because evidently they are sensitive to these frequencies and waves and so forth, and it kills them and it sends them up. So we've seen this in Japan before the Fukushima, earthquake, and the earthquake which damaged the tidal wave, which damaged Fukushima. So there's lots of these signals, as you guys just saw, 3 different major signals that California is about to get hit. Now, like I said, I don't think this is going to be the big one, but it is going to be pretty significant, and it's going to be the lead in to more significant throughout the year until I think we're going to see a massive tidal wave and probably volcanic activity, and the earthquake activity is going to be off the charts.
Before, during, and after high magnitude earthquakes, we get these sort of electromagnetic signals that are generated and released. And so if these fish are very sensitive to them, which makes sense, that would drive them to the surface, and they die once they're at the surface. So you don't see them there normally because, well, they're going to die if they go to the surface. So on December 30th of 2025, scuba diver Ted Judah was out in Monterey Bay, clear waters, and he saw an oarfish. So this is very, very rare, and I take these very seriously because back in May and June of 2025, right before the magnitude 8.8 megaquake that struck off the coast of Kamchatka, Russia, one of the biggest earthquakes ever observed, only behind 5 magnitude 9+ events that occurred in the past 125 years, we saw tons of oarfish washing up around the oceans in that area. Australia, New Zealand, India, other locations. And so there is something to this folklore. And case in point, we can look back to 2024 when 2 doomsday fish washed up in California. And look at the date there. That is November 15th for this article by SF Gate. For the second time in less than 4 months, an oarfish washed ashore in San Diego. And so this occurs every now and then. There have been oarfish that wash up every now and then in California, San Diego, Monterey, etc. But again, the date for this is November 15th, 2024. So going 4 months before then up to that moment. And well, let us look at this. If you remember, we had a magnitude 7 earthquake offshore Cape Mendocino at the Triple Junction on the 5th of December, 2024. Here is the map for that. So we can see that this was a big earthquake. We can put on our tectonic faults.
All right. So you see that there's many, signals that we have something in the works, and it doesn't mean it's going to happen today or tonight or even a month from now, but it is coming. So it is one of those things to look out for. Now, earthquake prediction group is saying that it's going to be today or tomorrow. And I'll show you this one as well. These guys have been fairly accurate. I would say probably upwards of 80, 85%. The magnitude that they predict is not always accurate, but they do predict fairly well. So you're seeing here pretty much all of California. So does this mean there's going to be a geological fault that gets triggered? Remains to be seen. So just heads up, we'll keep abreast of that. But I feel very confident, just like I did last year. And we did have very, very significant earthquake activity last year. I think that this year is going to be even more significant. So just be heads up, be aware, trust your intuition, and let it be your guide and your safety for your safety, right? So we're seeing the first Democrat fall, and of course that is Tim Walz. He has basically said that he is not going to seek re-election as governor. Yes, because you're going to be arrested soon. So he's basically bowing out of the race. And imagine this guy was going to be the vice president of the United States, and he can't even be, in his mind, evidently, he can't even be the governor of Wisconsin, and that's very smart of him to basically bow out.
Nominee promising to bring Minnesota values to Washington is politically dead, just like we predicted when the Somali fraud scandal first broke. All
right, not Wisconsin, Minnesota. So he's not the first. There's talk that the Democrats tried to warn Maduro that he was about to be hit by the military, but they got it to him. I guess they basically sent it after the team was already down there. So I think this is going to blow back on the Democrats. So whoever did that, and I've heard some names already, the Democrats, like I've been saying, as a party is going away. So this is, bombshell after the Somali fraud. This is the tip of the iceberg as far as the Democrat Party fraud.
Predicted that he would be the first to go, and that's exactly what he just announced. Walz has officially dropped out of the 2026 Minnesota governor's race amid the revelation that he oversaw as governor what many are calling the single biggest taxpayer fraud scandal in our nation's history. And what is...
All right, so the single biggest taxpayer fraud in our nation's history, it's not tip of the iceberg, right? So you're going to see Cali, Newsom is going to have massive $1 trillion worth of fraud. Same in New York with Hochul, and I don't know, maybe even Illinois, maybe not as much, maybe only hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud. So it's going to be, it's the beginning of the end of the Democrat Party. I've been predicting this for years, and now here it comes. It's going to be fast and furious, I believe, their demise. All right, so Trump posts a long list of 2020 election fraud, and he indicts Venezuela meddling, right? So this is one of the reasons why Venezuela had to be taken down, because of all the election fraud that has been going on down there. So upwards of 71, 72 different countries, when you include ours, have been impacted by the fraud. So throughout the early hours of Monday morning, President Donald Trump posted a series of news reports on election fraud from across the U.S. in the 2020 election. So this is really going to start to heat up now, and it's going to be quite monumental. What is this website? Cookie bullshit. So InfoWars, come on. So throughout the early hours of Monday morning, President Trump posted a series of news reports, and he also posted news reports that detail Venezuela's role in election fraud, something Alex Jones covered in his show in November. So the election fraud, Again, the Democrats heavily involved in that. So another reason why the Democrat Party, as I've been saying, is going to go bye-bye, and it's going to be, substantial going forward. So Trump also hints at possible military operations in Colombia, Mexico, and expects Cuba's downfall. Now, we're not seeing in here Brazil yet, but we will, all right? So Lula in Brazil, he's laying low. He's not talking smack like Colombia's president just did, just like Maduro, just like Noriega did. They talked smack and they went away. All right, so Colombia's president just talked smack. He's on, he's not too long for the world, right? Freedom-wise. So we'll see the Colombian president go bye-bye soon. When remains to be seen, but his days are absolutely numbered. So if we look at a presidential matchup between Vance and Newsom, who's heavily funded by the Chinese Party, Communist Party. The Chinese Communist Party would absolutely love to see Newsom get in there, because then they would absolutely completely own America. So we won't see that, of course, but at this point, if there was a matchup, we would see Vance blow it away. He would have 300 electoral votes to Gavin Newsom's 238. So let's take a look at the map as it's predicted right now. So, of course, the usual suspects in fraud, if it does continue to be allowed, are the left coast of the United States, Colorado, New York, of course, and then pretty much Illinois is kind of up for grabs, Virginia up for grabs, Georgia a little bit, because they had a major election fraud last time. So as you see, it's mostly red. It's a sea of red across the country, and no bueno for Newsom and his Chinese backers, right? So not going to happen. And I think that's what it's going to be like in the future. Now, the world's 5 largest cities in the world. I want to share this because I think this is going to be much lower in the future. I think there's going to be, we have the COVID vaccination, which I think has taken out a lot of people. It's starting to ramp up. So I don't see a lot of these countries that have major cities. I don't see that in the future, right? So if you look at population data, which uses imagery, national census data, we're seeing Guangzhou in China has 43 million. It's one city that has 43 million people. Jakarta, 40 million. Dhaka, Indonesia, 37.3. Tokyo, 33. Even though Tokyo is going down in population because Japan has a negative population growth. And then, of course, New Delhi. So the top 5. Now, I strongly believe that these cities are going to, reduce in population quite rapidly, right? In the near future, right? So, so those numbers will change. Not in America, not even close, unless we continue to import Muslims, right, and Chinese, right? So, and I don't know, I guess Hindus too. But for the most part, not looking so good for those countries, in my opinion. I think those countries are going to have a massive downsizing in their populations. All right, guys, that's all I got for today. Real quick one. Lots of love. Stay in the love vibration, and I'll see you guys next time.